Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. We're continuing on with our quick hitting videos, and we are talking about agency. And you can't talk about agency without hitting the fiduciary duties. And that is really by law what you're required to do, to follow, are these fiduciary duties in order to fulfill your end of the agency relationship. So we're going to do a video on each of them. Maybe we'll combine a couple. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to start with loyalty. So that's the first one listed in the administrative rules. And what we're going to do is kind of a general and then a buyer and seller specific when you're representing a buyer or seller. So loyalty. So in general, what it means is that you're going to place the interests of the principal above any other interest. So the person you're representing, the buyer, seller, or both, you're going to put their interests above your own. So in a buyer's context, you're representing a buyer. What does that mean? Well, your compensation is tied to the transaction oftentimes, right, in the form of a commission that's maybe a percentage. Well, sometimes the property your buyer selects, well, always will determine when you have a percentage-based commission what your compensation will be. So in that case, you got to put it out of your mind which property might be better for your bottom line and instead focus on what's going to be best for this client. So let's say you had a seller that is having a hard time selling their property, and you go ahead and say, this fits what my buyer's looking for, so I'm going to push that one. And I'm maybe going to stop looking at providing a lot of other options and just see if this buyer will go with the seller's property, my seller's property. Well, are you really following that fiduciary duty of loyalty in this case, or are you pushing something that's good for you because it gets your seller's property sold and it's convenient for you instead of what's good for the buyer? Well, I'd argue you might be breaching that fiduciary duty of loyalty. You should still be providing other options that you see meet the needs of your buyer and let your buyer decide, even if that results in your buyer not picking your seller's property. On the seller's end, again, you wouldn't want to ever do something like shopping the seller's property to a limited pool of buyers that may be better for you, an investment group, a group of buyers you work with. You're going to want the broadest range for that seller because that's what's good for your seller, right? And so again, never looking at how can I market this to my advantage instead of to my seller's advantage. That's what the loyalty fiduciary duty means, is I'm going to always focus on what is best for my client and not what's good for me. So hopefully that's helpful. That's loyalty in a nutshell. Remember, this is not specific legal advice. This is legal information only. If you need specific legal advice, please contact your attorney.